Heyo! Welcome to the Fantasy Scout. I'm Tal, and this is the Waiver show. Let's start out with the quarterbacks. If you just need a 1 week fill-in because you have Drew Brees or Matt Stafford on bye, then look for Jameis Winston and Mitchell Trubisky. Both are on powerful offenses with great weapons, and they're both coming off a bye week, which makes them fresh and prepared. Jameis Winston has a lot of talented targets in his toolbox. Mike Evans, Deshaun Jackson, Chris Godwin, Adam Humphries, and Cameron Brate. If the run game can step up, which they might do with Ronald Jones hopefully getting a bigger role coming out of the bye week, then this team has a tremendous offense that should be able to beat the best of defenses. Plus, they have a great schedule, with the Tampa Bay defense giving up plays of all sizes. This week against Atlanta and going forward, Jameis should be a top 12 quarterback. Trubisky's schedule isn't great, but this week's matchup could be a good one in Miami. The Dolphins' defense has looked good at times, but they'll wear out, and by the end of the game, they'll give it all up. My fear with this start, Trubisky, is that the Bears get ahead of Miami and run more than they throw. Otherwise, in the quarterbacks, we got Baker Mayfield playing against the Chargers, who haven't been that great. They haven't been as advertised. If he's still out there, though, I would take him for a streamer, and he has season-long upside. Also look for Blake Bortles. He might be there at 40% owned in ESPN and climbing. He's playing against Dallas this week, which isn't a great start, but he's solid. And going forward, he should be a top 12 quarterback, as he has been. I want to talk about Taysom Hill too, but I think I'm going to write about him in a whole article, so I'm just going to leave that. Like him and Lamar Jackson are kind of in similar situations, right? Running backs, Nick Chubb will have been forgotten maybe on this waiver wire, but I would pick him up if nobody else has. You shouldn't forget about him. He's super uber talented. And it's worth noting that Carlos Hyde has had injury issues in the past. Although I think he's past those issues, still, Nick Chubb is a worthy stash. The big pickups of the week in the running back category are Alfred Morris and one of the Eagles running backs because Ajayi went on IR. Jay Ajayi on IR. Big news. Which means one of these running backs are going to be fantasy relevant for the rest of the season. While I like Alfred Morris as a pickup because he's going to get a nice workload, I'm skeptical of the whole offense's ability to score points. Add in Kyle Juszczyk, vulturing both touches and targets, and I say spend your fab or claims more wisely elsewhere. I think the Eagles will have more opportunities to score, so I would rather have a piece of that offense. It's either Corey Clement or Wendell Smallwood. I was really high on Clement last season, as well as coming into this season. You should see my season-long best ball leagues. I thought there was a chance Corey Clement would take the job away from Jay Ajayi without injury. Corey Clement was injured last week, but it seems like he should be ready to go this week. If he's healthy, he's the better back to own. Smallwood is a great filler, but if he's the only back and the only healthy back, he's going to get you fantasy points, so Wendell Smallwood is also a good pickup. There's some other players to stash, so you can consider Dante Foreman, Marlon Mack, and Robert Turman. And, of course, I mentioned above Nick Chubb. But my favorite, put him on the bench and ask questions later, is Ronald Jones. He's on a high-powered offense, and he's really good running back. He's quantifiably a better running back than Peyton Barber. But we don't want to get into that. Suffice to say that he's going to have an opportunity to be the main back on the Bucs. He should emerge sooner than later. Wide receivers are a dime a dozen, which I probably say every time I look at wide receivers. But it's worth talking about some of them, like Kiki Kuti. Has 2 weeks in a row as a starter, and he's doing good things. 22 targets, 17 receptions, 160 yards, and a touchdown. That's going to continue. They need pass catchers in Houston, especially since their running game is not working. And this week may only feature Alfred Blue without Lamar Miller again. So pass catchers on the Texans equals good. Mike Williams, if he's owned in 46.2% of leagues, So if he's available, grab him. He had a couple of down games. Maybe people dropped him. He rebounds, I think, in Week 6 against Oakland. Chris Godwin, Christian Kirk, Taylor Gabriel, Dante Moncrief, Dede Westbrook, Rashard Higgins, Cortland Sutton, Marquise Valdez-Scantling, Robbie Anderson, and the bye week players Cam Meredith and Traquan Smith are all among my favorite wide receivers to break out in the second half of the season that are less than 50% owned. That's pretty much it for the receivers. Tight ends, difficult to pick week to week, but Camerbait is my top tight end pickup this week because he's got a connection with Jameis Winston already. And the fact that the whole team is rested and O.J. Howard isn't playing, Braid is probably a top 10 tight end while O.J. Howard is out. Possibly even when he's back because they have that connection, like I said. Austin Hooper is boom or bust, and I usually avoid him. Deep leagues or people who like to take some gambles may be interested in Hayden Hurst and Hunter Henry. Henry is due back sooner than later and is the Chargers. He's on the Chargers who score a lot, and Rivers loves his tight ends. Hurst played this week in his first action back, but I don't know. He's risky to have. There's so many tight ends over there. Defenses, you got the Bengals. They were nasty. Get them. Despite this week's matchup against the Steelers, the Bengals are going to be playing the Steelers at home. But they got many of their defensive players back that are now healthy and they look studly. Otherwise, you got the Jets. They look good too. Kickers. Okay, kickers are crucial even if you don't like it. Kaimi Fairbairn on the Texans. He's good because they can move the ball downfield, but they consistently get stopped in the red zone. While Zerline is out, I like Cairo Santos. Ryan Suckup is an amazing kicker with an excellent leg. And that's pretty much it. I pretty much appreciate you. I'm going to get better at this. And thanks for watching the Fantasy Scout. You have a wonderful day and night. And hopefully you pick up some good waiver claim pickups. Let me know if you have any questions. Get me at The Fantasy Scout on Instagram, Fantasy Scouter on Twitter, and you can check out my website at thefantasyscout.com. Have a great night.